Everyone's waiting for rates to drop, but what if I told you that could be the biggest mistake in your home buying journey, especially if you're using the VA home loan? Hi everyone, my name is David Piatek, and today we're diving into why waiting for lower interest rates might actually end up costing you more money. If you're a veteran or a family member, this is critical information for you to understand so you don't make costly mistakes. So let's dive right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the current market overview. First, let's take a quick look at where the market stands today. Recently, we've seen a slowdown in mortgage applications, largely because people are hoping for interest rates to drop before buying a home. Now, this makes sense on the surface. Lower rates means lower payments, right? Now, here's the catch. As soon as those rates drop, the market is going to heat up real fast, and we see it time in, time out, again and again. We're talking about the potential surge in home buyers who have been waiting on the sidelines, and that kind of competition can drive prices through the roof, and that negates any savings that you might have. Now let's talk about the impact this has, the lower interest rates, on competition. When these rates finally drop, the floodgates are going to open. Everyone's been waiting to jump in on the market, and when this happens, everybody jumps in at the same time. Just think of it yourself. If you're waiting for rates to drop and everyone else around you is waiting for rates to drop, basically everyone's going to jump in at the same time, just causing chaos, and it just causes madness overall because, again, this is your competition and pricing is based on supply and demand. There's limited inventory that's out there. So if demand skyrockets, you know what happens to the prices. Now, if you're a veteran using a VA home loan, this could be particularly challenging. Unfortunately, VA home loans get a bad rep from sellers who may not fully understand them. And I'm sure this has happened to you guys, especially if you've been through that home buying journey. Please drop a comment down below if this happened to you. What happened and were you able to overcome it, right? Now, a lot of sellers think that there's longer closing times or stricter requirements, and also they feel like they have to pay more money, or you not coming to the table with money doesn't mean that you're not qualified, which I think is crazy. We always try to make the best for the veteran purchasing a property, but we're gonna go do some techniques on how you can do that, right? And in these competitive markets where sellers have multiple offers to choose from, this could just make it harder for your offer to stand out. But this is why it's important to work with a team of people, again, that understands it, especially your realtor. Now, let's talk about some of the VA loan misconceptions in a competitive market. So let's talk about the common misconceptions about VA home loans and how they affect you in a competitive market. Some sellers, I don't say some, because some people are like, oh, we love VA loans, we want to accept them. May not be the general case that's out there, but I mean, I love them. I know how they work, so it's maybe a little bit different on my end, okay? So some sellers wrongly believe that VA loans are more complicated, slower, cost them more, or less certain to close, which can make them hesitate to accept offers based on VA home loans. Now, listen, this happened to me on my own personal journey becoming a homeowner. Bought a house not too long ago, late last year, and this was very similar. Sellers were not familiar with the VA home loan, but the person that was selling was a veteran, so they definitely understood the benefits of the program, and that's why they were okay with it. But just so many people have a bad experience because of maybe lenders not knowing how they work, so they may seem a lot more complicated. There's a lot of experts that are out there, and thanks to viewers like yourself that reach out to me and say, hey, David, I want to schedule a consultation with you. Walk me through this process. Then it clicks. You're like, oh, I see how he explains it. It's going to be different than maybe who I'm working with. So if you guys are interested, please don't hesitate. Drop a line. Happy to connect about your VA home loan and how it works no matter where you are in the country. But here's the truth about it. With the right real estate professional and mortgage professional at your side, the VA home loan is just as competitive, if not more, because of the type of financing. I think it's a huge advantage for the program because there's a lot of stuff that you can do now that you weren't able to do before. And a good example of that, I'll throw this little nugget out there, is that if you have repair items that are not safety concerning and fall within a certain bracket, you can actually do the repairs yourself and not have the seller do those repairs. It just makes it a bit more competitive. Not everybody is for that, and I understand that, but if you really want that house, veterans do have the option of being able to put some things in escrow account. Now listen, I'm not an attorney and everyone's situation is different, but we've seen it plenty of times on our side, okay? Now let's talk about home prices negate rate savings. I think this is a very important topic because this happens literally every single time. And with where we currently sit today, with rates potentially dropping here in the very near future, with more people in there, it's just, again, it just makes it the savings negate because the values of homes already anticipate that change. We're already seeing that in markets across the board. So imagine this piece, right? You wait for rates to drop, they do, but so does everyone else's rates drop, right? So now it's just forcing bidding wars and raising prices, again, negating any savings. I did a video not too long ago kind of breaking down like, hey, here's a side-by-side comparison. If values go up, you're paying $50,000 more, for example, and rates change X, the savings are literally none. So keep that in mind as you go through the home buying journey. Because it's gonna make a big impact on what you're doing. Now let's talk about some strategic advice for our veteran community on what they can do. So what should you do if you're a VA home loan buyer? It might be smarter to act now rather than wait. Again, huge fan of that. Looking into a home at a lower price point now can save you some money down the line and also stay away from fierce competition. We also have veterans that'll say, well, I don't want it to, the competition is too high, multiple offers, I don't want to be in that. But it's the same people that said that back in 21 and 22, or rates at that time, right, were 2.25, and values, yes, were going up, but guess what? They've far surpassed that value through current time, and the rates are much higher. So those are all things you need to factor in as you go through this journey, and it's really important for you to reach out to a professional to be able to guide you through all this, because the markets are constantly shifting, and you really have to be ready on a flip of a dime. I think a lot of people that at least got under contract now, they could benefit both from where current prices are, along with rates dropping. But again, we're gonna be able to see what that looks like a little bit later. Now, to wrap things up, waiting for lower rates might seem like a good idea, but it could actually hurt you more in the long run, especially if you're using the VA home loan. The increased competition and rising home prices could negate any savings from lower interest rate. So if you're considering buying a home, it might be better to act sooner rather than later if you can afford the payment. Now, if you guys have questions or need personalized advice, please don't hesitate to reach out. I have my contact information down in the description, and I'll catch you guys soon.